Coming up tonight on YCN News, Newport's Parlin Field Airport will get a close-up look. Public transportation study set for New Hampshire. And death with dignity is now legal in Vermont. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN News, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening. It's Friday, May 22nd. I'm Abby Peel, and welcome to YCN News. Newport, New Hampshire elected officials are moving forward to study the finances and operations of its town airport, also known as Parlin Field. The decision to study 5 years' worth of airport records comes on the heels of a decision made by voters at last week's annual town meeting. The select board will appoint a panel for the study, a study to determine the airport's future in Newport, reports the Eagle Times. A vote yesterday in New Hampshire State Senate struck down a $4 million plan to study bringing a commuter rail into the southern region. The study would see how feasible it would be to bring a commuter rail from Boston to Nashua. The vote came along party lines with Republicans in the majority, that according to the Associated Press. However, a vote in the Senate to study all forms of transportation, not just the commuter rail, did pass. Turning to Vermont state news, residents of the Green Mountain State now have the right to do what residents in Oregon and Washington can do, choose to end their life. Governor Peter Shumlin signed into law a bill earlier approved by the Vermont legislator, physician-assisted suicide. The bill, known as Act 39, also known as the Death with Dignity Law. It allows terminally ill patients to get a note from his or her doctor to end their life, reports the Vermont Public Radio. Only one other state, Montana, allows physician-assisted suicide. A court ruling offers a defense for a doctor in Montana if a patient's death is assisted. Coming up on YCN News, Bluff Elementary School gets a new principal. Learn more about Lyme disease, and local graduations begin. And we'll see who came up ahead with the Windsor-Woodstock softball matchup, and we'll find out how the weather will be on this holiday weekend. All coming up when your YCN News returns.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Abby Peel. A Massachusetts charter school educator is the new principal of the Bluff Elementary School in Claremont. Michael Lansing will take over the former principal, Aaron Sangonami, who resigned to work in the Lebanon, New Hampshire School District. Lansing had interviewed earlier as a runner-up to the new principal of Cornish Elementary School, notes the Eagle Times. Lansing is a vice president of City on a Hill Charter School in New Bedford, Massachusetts. The summer season means more than graduations, school proms, and cookouts. It's also the time of year when Lyme disease can be prevalent. A program at Valley Regional Hospital in Claremont on Thursday, June 4th, will teach you what you need to deal with the disease if you already have it or to protect yourself from it. Lyme disease is one of the fastest growing infectious diseases in the U.S. since 1990. The number of diagnosed cases of Lyme disease has risen to at least 1 million people. The disease is spread by ticks. It can cause more than a bug bite. Medical experts say if left untreated, Lyme disease can cause nerve, muscle, and cardiac damage. Guest speaker is David Hunter of Bedford, New Hampshire. The program begins at 6 p.m. Tonight at River Valley Community College in Claremont, the stacks of diplomas ready to be handed out to graduating students will number 225. YCN News will bring you this story on Tuesday, along with the update of graduation dates in area high schools, both in New Hampshire and Vermont. Be sure to tune in Monday night for a Memorial Day special program. Coming up on YCN News, the summer theater season is upon us. Kearsarge Chronicle host Lynn Solomon sat down with New London Barn Playhouse director Melina Zaccotti. That interview coming up when YCN News returns.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Mike Pizzone. Well, it's probably the most important forecast of the week with a 3-day weekend coming up, and it looks like we're in for some sunny skies and pretty mild temperatures. Skies will remain clear tonight, though temperatures will bottom out at about 33 degrees, making for areas of patchy frost overnight and in the early morning hours. Tomorrow will bring more bright sunny skies with a high of 62 during the day, and skies will remain clear overnight with calm winds and a low of around 40. Temperatures will break that 70-degree barrier Sunday with mostly sunny skies and a high of 73 during the day, before falling to about 53 Sunday evening. As for Memorial Day, temperatures will be in the mid-70s with partly sunny skies and a 30% chance of thunderstorms in the evening. Now let's take a look at our community calendar to see what's happening over the long weekend. The 6th annual Cheese and Dairy Celebration will be held tomorrow and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Billings Farm and Museum in Woodstock, Vermont. Call the number on the screen for more information. A 9-ball pool tournament will be held Sunday beginning at 1 p.m. at the Claremont Eagles Club on Washington Street in Claremont, New Hampshire. Call the number on the screen to find out more. Claremont's annual Memorial Day Parade and observances will be held Monday beginning at 10 a.m. at the Claremont Middle School. A luncheon will follow at the Legion Hall, and all events are free and open to the public. I headed over to Windsor High School yesterday to see how the school's softball team would respond after suffering a disappointing loss just 24 hours earlier. And the Yellow Jackets showed no ill effects from its first shutout of the season, earning a hard-fought win over rival Woodstock in what was an all-around solid game. The Wasps took a 1-0 lead in the top of the first inning, but the home team was quick to answer as Ashley Wilcox led off the bottom of the frame by reaching on a bunt, setting the stages for Emily Anderson's RBI single here to knot the score back up at 1-1. Windsor stranded a pair of runners in the second, but senior Haley Wood took matters into her own hands in the third, belting this solo shot over the head of Woodstock's left fielder for what proved to be the final run of the game. The Yellow Jackets weren't done hitting though, as Anderson added a double later in the game, before hits from Ashley Bly, Becca Rumrill, and Aaron Wiersbicki had coach Phil Hathorn's team celebrating a 7-hit performance. Bly picked up the win from the circle, allowing a single run on 4 hits and a walk while striking out 4 in a complete game effort. I spoke with Bly after the game, who said that her and her teammates need to stay confident as the regular season winds down in order to get the job done come playoff time.
Well, we all need to be confident, and if we do mess up, just keep our head in the game. As me, I really need to do that, being the pitcher. But we just all need to get together and cheer for each other and try our best. Even with the low numbers this year, we're doing really good, and I'm happy.
I also spoke with Wood, who said her team did a good job brushing aside memories of their 15-0 loss to Leland and Gray a day earlier.
We were really flat yesterday. It was tough coming off that game, but like our coach said before the game, we turned a new leaf and we came out strong tonight. We definitely need to keep our heads in the game, keep staying confident and working as a team.
Windsor softball coach Phil Hathorn added that he was thrilled with his team's play defensively, but they still need to pick up the pace at the plate.
Woodstock gave us a good game today, which we needed. We played very good on defense today. Everybody made plays. We got back to the mold where I want to make the play. I want the ball hit to me because I'm going to make the play. I have confidence in myself. Yesterday we did not. We got to swing the bats a little bit better. We swung the bats well early, and we've been in a little bit of a funk, scraping by. Didn't swing the bats at all yesterday, and we hit balls on the nose. Woodstock made plays today, but we got to get back to line shots.
The Yellow Jackets are now 7-6 on the season and will host Fairhaven on Tuesday. Woodstock is now 5-5. The Windsor baseball team also earned a win over rival Woodstock yesterday, albeit in a much more comfortable fashion. The Yellow Jackets tallied 15 hits in the contest, with Seth Belch, Brandon Ingalls each driving in a pair of runs. Belch earned the win from the mound as well, surrendering 3 runs on 4 hits and 6 walks through 5 innings. Windsor is now 3-9 on the season and will host Mill River today. Katie Frederick plated Megan Curry with 2 down in the bottom of the 7th inning yesterday to lift the Sunapee softball team to a walk-off win over Wilton Limeboro. Frederick finished with 3 hits for the Lakers, as did senior Jessica Parsons, who also drove in a trio of runs. Frederick, Faith Larpenter, and Megan Frederick all saw time in the circle for Sunapee, who improved to 12-2 and will host Epping on Tuesday. The Kearsarge girls lacrosse team rattled off its 7th straight win yesterday to solidify its standing as one of the top 3 teams in Division III. Anna Stoll led the Cougars with 6 goals, followed by Eleanor Angus with 4 goals and 6 assists. Kearsarge had just 2 more games left on its regular season schedule, with showdowns at Plymouth next Thursday and at St. Thomas the following day. That does it for YCN Sports. I'm Mike Pizzone.
Thanks, Mike. Next Monday, Mike will have a recap of Sunapee baseball action as well as scores from across the region. Now, coming up next, Mike will be back with us as he sits down with YCN News Director Lisa Connell to review this week's news when YCN News returns.
The YCN News continues in a moment.